The Futures Wheel is a foundational tool in the field of future studies. This structured brainstorming method has stood the test of time, evolving through diverse applications in education, public policy, corporate strategy, and innovation.
The Futures Wheel is a simple yet powerful tool. In the words of its inventor, requiring only pen, paper, and a fertile mind. So let's get started with a brief history of the method, an explanation of how it's done, and why it's such a valuable component in any foresight or futures process. I'm Martin Richards.
I am Zainab Yassin.
And we're futures researchers.
And we are based at the Finland Futures Research Center. The method was devised in the early 70s by Jerome Glenn, a pioneer of future studies in the field of education. Since then, the method has been called various other names: implementation wheel, webbing, and mind mapping. The method became a popular tool of educators, policymakers, and consultants.
So why use the Futures Wheel? Well, this method is particularly effective for identifying non-linear relationships and the long-term implications of trends. It can be used to broaden the discussion around a given development, sensing out towards the implications of the implications, extending the very boundaries of what we can imagine. How does this actually work?
Starting on a fresh sheet of paper, as large as you can find, draw the hub of a wheel. This is the central issue that we wish to explore. It may be a trend, emerging issue, or a black swan, or other counterfactual event that you wish to explore.
First, let's explore the implications of this event. What does it mean across various sectors? Technology, environment, economics, and so forth. And what do I even mean by an implication? Well, simply, this is what effect can we imagine this development having in the future, such as students using AI for essays following the release of cheap and accessible AI tools.
Now, let's map the implications of these implications. As we extend outwards, we are considering deeper, less direct, and potentially longer-term ideas what could happen. In this ring, we can also consider the implications of an intersection of developments from the first ring.
Then, we get to the third-order implications. These build upon the second-order items, exploring the possibility space of further cascading effects.
Unlike the mind map, which proceeds down the branches to map thoughts to their conclusions, the Futures Wheel completes each ring of implications before moving to the next. This allows for the systematic cross-pollination of ideas between sectors. Furthermore, completing this as a group allows for the collective assessment of each contribution.
Many variations of the Futures Wheel exist. This example includes layers that explore pasts, presents, as well as futures.
Further variations use alternative notation to indicate the kind of impact or implication imagined, or allow for a greater or lesser structure in the consideration of combined implications.
The strengths of the method include its effectiveness at leveraging the imagination of the people sitting at the table, particularly with regards to expanding our thinking systematically into the unimagined. Furthermore, it harnesses our collective intelligence by filtering implications through the discussion at the table. And thirdly, it supports the systematic exploration of long-term and non-linear implications.
Some of the limitations of the method are: firstly, clear instructions are needed to define the parameters of the method. Secondly, what is put into the wheel is limited by what the people at the table are able to imagine. And thirdly, the method is insufficient on its own. It needs to be used in conjunction with other methods.
In conclusion, this tool of futures thinking is particularly effective when used to delve deeper into high-impact, high-uncertainty trends, identified, for example, through horizon scanning. It can also be used to further develop images of the future into scenarios.
The futures wheel is an entry point into making sense of the many divergent implications that a given trend may have. It helps us to make the seemingly incomprehensible manageable. Thank you.
Thank you.
Join us in next video.
From leaf to root, deepening conversations with causal layered analysis.